Welcome back to The Pod Has Spoken. A pretty amazing episode of Survivor. It was shaping up to be another fan-blamed twist gone wrong, but with a little creative thinking from Devins, we ended up getting an episode that was pretty dang fun. We have Riley here, the Wolf of Quiet Pines. We have Ashleigh, the Ashen Herald, and we have a contestant from Heroes versus Healers versus Hustlers. I call it the Triple H, Ryan Ulrich. Ryan, welcome to the podcast. We're so excited to have you. I was a big fan when I was watching Triple H, and you just kind of disappeared. What'd you do? Just go on with your life rather than like hang around the Survivor community? That's odd.
Yeah, so this is really the first recap podcast episode I've done in my Survivor history. But I mean, one, you can't pass an opportunity to speak with the Wolf of Quiet Pines. That's first off. Second off, it's Survivor 50, you know? CBS kind of made clear that I had nothing really to do with Survivor 50, but the Pod Has Spoken has taken a different stance and one that I like more. So I can't wait to talk about the episode. I've been watching the whole season. I didn't even know if I was going to watch this season, but once you know Mr. Beast is going to be on in a future episode, like you're hooked in. So it's
Dude, you can't not.
It's yeah, I'm excited.
And the other thing too, when we cast for this show, we like to cast a wide net. So we had actually invited 500 to 600 former Survivor castaways, promised them all that they would be here, and then at the last minute told them we went a different direction. So you lucked out. I hope you're grateful for all the opportunity that we've given you, and don't ever forget it.
I will not.
Before we get, okay, thank you. Before we get into the episode, last week, there was a schoolyard pick, supposedly, because I got some insider information from someone who was there that it was not, in fact, a schoolyard pick. That's why we didn't see it. That's why we saw no footage of it. They had a bag of rocks, and the girls drew from one bag, and the guys drew from the other for the teams.
I mean, Tyson, you're no stranger to drawing rocks, so that's not, a horrible thing. But yeah, that is a little disappointing. I wanted to see how the team shook out because from what I remember last week, Jonathan's team was really weak. So I assumed that he wanted to game like, okay, if I could just get through this, I could win this immunity challenge because I'm going against people who I'm not going against Ozzy. I'm not going against Steph and all those people. So but I would have liked to seen those dynamics. So that's interesting to hear.
Yeah. So instead of us speculating on all the different dynamics and there being even dynamics, there were none. It was interesting, but the fans voted for it. The fans specifically voted for
lie about a schoolyard pick and
for a fake schoolyard
rocks.
pick. That was the thing the fans voted for the most in a 72 to 49 to 31 percent breakdown. We got what we wanted again, which is crazy that we just keep getting what we want this season. One thing we do want, and we've been getting a lot of, is Coach. Coach comes back feeling the victim of him spearheading the de-ouster. Ryan, how are you treating Coach in this moment where like he comes back, he's like complaining to Jonathan and he's like, I'm the shield, I'm the scapegoat, all of this.
It's tough. He's misunderstood as we know, as has been well documented.
But do you really believe he's misunderstood?
No. I think he's quite well understood. I do love the juxtaposition, though, when he was like so enthralled with himself. Like, guess who the vote driver was? It was me. And then it's like, I am back. And then like the whole juxtaposition of in camp, it's just like, I don't know, like why is this happening again? Like, so yeah, it was great. And right after tribal too, and like you're just waiting to say something and you're rehearsing what you've said, and that's what he decided to go with. Perfect.
Yeah, he sure did. Survivor is a learning curve. Like as you go back and you adjust and you make some things, but Coach just can't help himself. And there is part of that. I know when you return, you're like, you can only be who you are. But Coach seems even extra coachy this season in some of these moments. The haikus, that's a new thing. I guess the haikus and the singing was extra this season. Ryan, is Coach trying to win here, or is he just being Coach?
It's certainly a new thing because some of the haikus went last week definitely were not haikus. They did not fit the pentameter.
Yeah.
I think a little bit of both, right? I think he played so well in South Pacific. I really do. There was no joke about who was driving those votes. It was Coach, right? And I think that's why he had, through his own words, from what I've heard him say through the years, a little hesitation of wanting to come back because, I played an incredible game, which I don't think there's any doubt that he did in 23, that he did. So I think he could maybe think, okay, well, maybe I could blend some of the early character moments that I had with that strong gameplay that I had this time. Or last time. And that's what I think we're kind of seeing, right? Now, is it an overcorrection of those character moments? Yeah, maybe. Because we have singing.
Overcorrection of gameplay too.
It might be. Yeah, it might be. And I think last time, he was playing with all new people, sans Ozzy, who was on Redemption Island the entire time. So people were feeding out of his own hand, Cochran was wearing his jacket. People were, forming prayer circles around Coach, right? This time, people aren't going to take every single, direction that he gives, and that pushback is maybe a new thing for him because I don't think he was driving the votes in 18 or 20 like he was in 23. He's driving the vote here, but definitely getting a different reaction from doing so.
Right. And speaking of Ozzy goes to Tiffany immediately, and I think there's something to the wisdom of Tiffany here with Ozzy going to her and saying, "Hey, I voted for you," and her being like, "Well, you're bold enough to tell me, I do believe that I can trust you to a certain degree because you were willing to just admit that you voted for me." And Ozzy wants Coach. He's targeting Coach. Mm-hmm. Is this the right time for this? I believe that Ozzy was correct in telling Tiffany, I voted for you, and reeling her in a little bit because who knows what's to come. But targeting Coach early in the episode, who knows, the day before even the challenge happened, I don't know the timing exactly.
True.
Feels a little early to me.
It could seem early. I do. So another thing that happened when they got back to camp, I think Chrissy said to Tiffany, "I don't know who voted for you." And it's
yes.
Well, okay. Obviously, I think we had Chrissy in the last episode saying, "I'm voting for D." So it's okay. Yeah. And then we're getting back to camp. It's oh man, you could have gone home. Who knew? Oh, I did. And then it's that perfect comparison to Ozzy having a conversation with Tiffany. And I think Tiffany played this so well. You have to have a lot of resolve to look a person in the eye because really, if it went Ozzy's way, theoretically, Tiffany would be at Ponderosa, right? She wouldn't even be having this conversation. So it takes a big person to look a person in the eye who just wrote your name down to say, it's all good. And it takes a big person from Ozzy, too, to say, look, I'm coming to you with this information. This is what I did. Let's move forward from it. And that's a very, very stark contrast between the approach that Chrissy and Coach later took and the approach that Joe and Ozzy took right here. And you could see ultimately which one paid off. And you could see which one Tiffany appreciated more. Tiffany seems like a very, very even-keeled, measured person who I think is playing a really good game. And I think it's no surprise that it is somebody who people want to work with because she just seems like somebody that you could have those types of conversations with, which in my experience, those conversations don't always go as smoothly as they did here.
Yeah, I do. I like what you're saying there. I do think also that because Ozzy did vote for Tiffany, he did need to give her a little bit of something to show that he did want to move forward. And naming Coach as the target, A, Tiffany wants Coach. Mm-hmm. And B, now Tiffany has that information on Ozzy, which is now some power back to her. So whether or not Ozzy did that on purpose, I think it worked out well. And it could have gone bad. She could have easily gone to the group and been Ozzy started saying Coach's name. That could have blown up easily. And that's the balance of Survivor. You have to give some information up to some people at some time, but are they going to weaponize it? Do you have a good enough read on them? Is this best for their game? Do they understand it's best for their game? There's so much that goes into it. So let's talk about the other conversations she had with people admitting they voted for her throughout the episode, since you already brought it up. Coach bombed so hard.
Yeah, it was tough when the Q&A session opened up to that conversation. And the first question was a stumper.
He doesn't even answer. He just sits there in silence. That's what I do when I'm in an argument with my wife, is I just be quiet until we walk different directions. And then it's probably fixed. So
this had already happened to Coach earlier this season too. Like he went, to D and was like, "Oh, like Emily was throwing your name out," and she was like, "Well, why didn't you tell me this earlier?" And he's like, I don't know what to say. And then this one's like even worse, because he's like, "It wasn't me pushing your name." So of course the obvious follow-up question is, "Well, who was it?" And he has no answer.
None. Ryan, could he have named a name? Should he have named a name? Like, he should have named a name. But what name should he have named?
Right. I guess he kind of did. I think he threw Emily under the bus there, which is easily verifiable, because like Emily tells everybody everything. So it's like, you probably would have heard that if it was Emily. But this was like agreed upon and talked about between Chrissy and Coach. It was like, here's what you do. And Coach is like, yeah, that's an amazing idea. And like, it involves Coach. Like, Coach is going to talk her through it. It's just, I think the right approach, as we said, is the Ozzy approach. Like, honesty right there is the best approach. It's not like everybody knew Coach was driving the vote. Coach is so proud of himself that he's driving this vote. Like, maybe tell it to her in a haiku. I don't know. But you have to tell her in a way that is not going to make her question immediately, hey, he continues to feed me false information. This round's different. And clearly he didn't, he needed more Tidewalker there, not Dragon Slayer, but he's renounced Tidewalker. So, I think it was too late for him there, and you can see it just unraveled quickly.
Could he have done? Would it have been? I mean, it would have been better, but would it have been effective for him to be like, "I did drive the vote. I did drive it on D. I'm not targeting you. We had to split the vote somewhere. That was easy for everybody." Like, I don't know. I feel like every conversation he has, he tries to blame his actions on someone else. And then they ask who that person is. And then he's like, now I'm really caught, because if I name them, that person's running immediately to that person, checking everything. And now I'm dead.
Right. And Survivor's not a game where you're put in pairs, like you're not going to have a pair ever. Or like, ever. Yeah. That would never happen.
Not unless we voted for it. If the fans voted for it, then it could happen.
Yeah,
but
that's a good point.
Jeff would never do that. That's a terrible idea.
Yeah, that's not my Survivor.
Yeah. So who else? Joe had a good conversation with Tiffany. He reeled her in a bit. I think he was good. And who else had a real sit down with Tiffany there? Did we have more?
No, I think those were as far as the explainers go on why I voted for you. I mean, when you have a reward, and I heard you last week, like, your dream on Survivor is to go on a reward by yourself. Going on a reward with Joe is pretty much going on a reward by yourself, I guess, right? If it's just you two. But I do think he did a good job here of explaining, like, look, like, let's just build trust from right here. Like, this is what happened last time. And yet you have to say, like, it wasn't me. And Joe has the advantage of saying, hey, this was Coach. So obviously a little easier take there. But yeah, I think he played it as well as he could have there. But he's the Stone Bell monk. So what do you expect? He's going to play it good.
Here's the problem with the Stone Bell monk, though, is that if he's promising not to write so many people's names down, he's going to get to like final 6 and he's going to be like, I promised 5 of these people I wouldn't write their name down, even though like it's not what I want. So either way, he's going to have to, as an honorable character, put someone's name down that he already promised he wouldn't, or put someone's name down because he has no other options, even though that's not exactly who he wants to target.
Joe will be the first player to go to Exile, and it'll be like, you have to stack these coconuts or whatever, or else you lose your vote. And he'll be like, finally, I can lose my vote and vote for nobody.
I did think that was funny. So we get this boat showing up, and everyone wants to sit out, because what we've learned is that if you are the odd person out on Survivor, it's an automatic advantage pretty much every time. Has there ever been a time where it's like, oh, you're left out, now you have to play with one arm tied behind your back for the rest of the thing? Like, no, it's always just like, surprise. And they're always like, what? The advantage? This is actually good. I would have been fighting harder to sit out.
Yeah.
Can you fight harder to sit out though, without it like turning on you? Kind of.
You could be like, okay, so who doesn't want to sit out? And you have those people, Joe, whoever. They're like, I'm gonna battle Ozzy, and you're like, can I use your shot in the dark as also one of mine, so that if you draw Ozzy, Joe, or me, I get to sit out. Like, there's something to having an ally go in this position, understanding that they're probably getting an advantage. They didn't end up,
especially on the heels of like they did this in the Blood Moon episode. Like, 2 people went to exile.
The most historic episode of all time.
I heard it was one of the biggest twists until the biggest twist. I mean, it's just biggest twist upon biggest twist. It's absolutely amazing.
It's crazy that the trajectory over 50 seasons, every other episode has been the biggest twist.
It's crazy. But yeah, that's what I voted for. So, yeah, it's I mean, what if I lost my vote on the fan vote? Like, that's where you should have been taking votes away from people, you know?
Yes, apparently so. You all lost your vote. Jeff can do that too. He could just be like, well, the fans all lost their vote. We're doing it our way.
The people on the street, they love it.
Yeah.
But yeah, obviously it's such an advantage. Like, okay, wait, I could avoid a vote instead of being like going through an obstacle course with the Riz God. Like, yeah, I mean, I'll do that. Like, come on, I'll go to Exile.
Yeah. And so Reed did, I think, we didn't ever see that she was like strategically thinking to sit out. We just got her being like, I'll lose. I'm going to lose for the person that I'm with, and I don't want that. And I also don't want to get picked last at the end of it all while everyone's clamoring to not be with me.
Yeah, I don't. I think that's the byline, right? I think she wanted to go to have protection. I think it is also like, I'm no stranger to costing my team a challenge win. Okay, I get that, but at the same time, I do think there's so much upside of just like avoiding whatever is going on that you're willing to just undertake going to exile, taking the hit. And as you said, like, it's never bad. And she knows that, right? Like she's played so many times that, I trust her acuity more than anybody else, obviously. And her reads, not to be confused with Riley's reads, but Cerie's reads are also very good. So yeah, I think I was shocked only 4 people wanted to do it. And it raises a flag that, did Steph want to do it or no? Did Steph put her name in?
It was Aubrey, Devin, Cerie, and Chrissy.
So maybe Steph just didn't want to deal with, another lie coming back from exile or whatever. But if you're a player saying, why not? It doesn't seem like a major risk to me.
Yeah, I think if there's ever a moment to volunteer as the solo person, if somebody has to go or exit and you're looking at it like, no, I should go compete, like, sit out. Something good's coming, something better than what, like, and we all knew it. I'm surprised we didn't get that confessional from Cerie. I 99% certain, I am 99% certain that happened, where she was like, I know it's good. I know it's going to be good. Like, let's go. I'm so happy I won this. I know it's good. But then it wouldn't have played out as well as the sad music while she's hunting for coconuts. We also get the pairings. Everybody's mixing and mingling. Who made an absolute wrong choice on a partner here?
Well, first of all, Coconut Bandit's dream when you show up to an island full of coconuts, right? Of course.
Oh my God, dude. I was like, find this as fast as I can and then drink a bunch of coconuts. That literally, as I saw that, I was like, is there a way to pop those open after I find those? Also, her starting with the closest coconuts to the sign, I feel was an error.
They're not going to hide it that close.
Yeah, I didn't think so either, unless they thought that she thought that they thought. Maybe it was dependent on the person. They're like, Cerie, she's not walking far. Put it as far as you can, knowing she's going to look close first. And what is your strategy there, Ryan? She was flipping all of them looking. Are you under the impression that it's under a coconut? I'm gauging the time and being like, maybe if the time isn't a lot, then it has to be on the surface somewhere and you just run around the coconuts looking. But
it's so interesting. We never found out how much time she had exactly.
Hourglass can't be contained to a standard clock.
Yeah, that's true. I think just like I use the speed and try and flip things over. Obviously, I don't know how much other information she got of this what it's going to look like or whatever, but it seemed to be pretty pronounced. But who knows what she was thinking could have been like painted on, and then when you go through them, you just start missing them, right? So I think, as you said, I'd probably start the furthest away, just chuck, and then hopefully I come across it. But I don't know if I would have taken a break. I think I would have been too worried. But she is such a calm person, so like she's a freaking nurse. Like, of course she could flip over coconuts. Like, she's in stressful situations all the time, right? She's from Jersey City, where I went to high school, right? So we don't get stressed. But yeah, I think she took the right. No, ever. Yeah, clearly no, ever. I think that was the right approach.
She had enough time to not only take a break, but then to have a flashback montage of every other time she's played Survivor, minus Australian Survivor, which I've heard is a great season. So we get that. Then that's where I think like her celebrating the fact that she was the solo person that's definitely getting saved was not going to work out with the montage of feel goods that we got. Let's talk about the pairings. The pairings here. Do you have a strategy if you're sitting there on the beach and you have to be in pairs? And did they get enough clue to know that you were voting out pairs? No, they didn't. I don't think they did. They just to pair up for the challenge.
Yeah,
they didn't get a clue. But we'll ask this in our exit press because I am curious. But I think somebody must have suspected that would be the case. Because we know that they're looking at the calendar and being like, how do we whittle this all the way down to 3 by 26 days?
Yeah,
it's
do you
day
think
16.
Somebody raised their hand? They're like, I actually on the write-in ballot, I voted for double the fun, double the demise twist, and we'll see.
What did they call it? What did he call this? The double down,
duo.
I think.
He couldn't
double
say
duo.
the Doublemint because that's already a thing. That would have, Wrigley's would have come straight for him. So, but also an opportunity for marketing.
The season's not about putting in things that shouldn't be there. Like, that's not what this season is. This is in the hands of the fans, right? So it's not, that'd be out of character.
Can you imagine Joe and Tiffany chewing, just enjoying some Doublemint gum on the reward?
Oh my God.
I'm sure companies are clamoring for Joe to be their spokesperson at this point. So they'd have to get in line, obviously. But yeah, that would be a little force feed of it. I'd like to see that. Like, man, this, it would go great with this tiramisu, some Doublemint gum. Yeah, it would a huge missed opportunity there from Survivor.
Well, our inbox is open, Survivor, if you need some marketing ideas. But Doublemint would have just really...
I thought you were going to say our inbox is open to Doublemint. Like they could sponsor this podcast.
Yeah,
we'll be chewing gum as we record.
If we could get the episodes in advance far enough that we could plan out the marketing tactics of the podcast based off of what we see, like that would have been perfect. Unfortunately, there was not enough time. Now, can we talk about the pairings?
Yeah, I think so. What stuck out to me was I loved the Jonathan and Christian pairing, and that
was my favorite one.
Yeah,
they're on opposite sides.
Exactly.
Yes. They're both in pretty good positions within their alliance. One is brawn, one is brains for a challenge. Like everything about that build was correct.
100%. And they almost became untouchable. Like it didn't, the challenge for them, even though I think, they ended up getting to the final segment, but I thought they had a great chance going in. And of the utmost importance, you got your feet in both camps. And this was a week after. I mean, Christian is one of the lowly middle people. Okay. He's not even supposed to be spoken to. So when you have a chance to link up with someone of honor and integrity like Jonathan, you take that because then you become untouchable to both sides. So if that was their plan, I give them a lot of credit because that was very well played.
Yeah. The Chrissy and Coach pairing I thought was just so bad. Like Neither one of them are physically dominant. Plus, they're in the tightest alliance of those pairings, I think. And so you're pretty much like, if you don't have the power, if your alliance doesn't have the power, that's the easiest shot, in my opinion. Obviously, that's what happened, but it almost didn't, I think. Am I missing something there with them? Did they just choose poorly? Were they the last to choose? Did they just feel comfortable enough? What happened?
I think they felt comfortable, and they couldn't have been the last to choose because we saw Rizzo saying, I think it was to Christian, it was like, hey, do you have a partner? And this is a guy who everybody knows has a hidden immunity idol. Like, but I guess at that point, like, you don't know, you're in Paris for voting. Right. So I guess that doesn't really matter. But yeah, just from I think they were going in like, who do I work well against, or who do I work well with? So I guess, Christian and Jonathan got lucky. But I guess it's a good lesson. You always want to have your foot in both camps. And, Chrissy and Coach were just too similar. And, people clearly viewed them as a duo. I think they are very similar personalities. That ended up being the worst one by far.
What about the Ozzy and Stephanie pairing?
Strong. I
think physically strong. I think strategically not as strong. I think that's another one where if you can see they're aligned.
They get some of the like cross alliance benefit. It's a little bit like under the radar, I think, especially to these old schoolers, that Ozzy and Suri are so close with Rizzo specifically.
Yeah.
But so there's a lot of people who I think are like, they're so invested in Stephanie or Ozzy or both of them that it kind of takes some heat off of them.
Okay.
I want to point out really quick before we get off of Steph as well. She mentioned that she had a main alliance of like 7 people.
Yes.
And kind of shows that she's not really like in the know of what's going on with the alliances. But she said she had Jonathan, Chrissy, Joe, Ozzy, Suri, and Coach all in one big alliance, and everything was going smoothly. So I'm not even sure if she thought that it was like a cross alliance type of thing to work with Ozzy at all.
She didn't.
Yeah.
She thinks that Ozzy is fully with her. She doesn't understand that Ozzy has something else that he values more than that 7 person. And Suri. Yeah.
Right.
Yeah. I'm sure she was very surprised when she found out Suri was spilling her secrets when she came back from the challenge. I think that's a great read. I don't think, she's doesn't have her finger on the pulse of that. And she clearly doesn't know how close they are with Rizzo either. So.
Yeah. I think, I think for Ozzy, taking Stephanie like cements her belief in their alliance. I think for Stephanie, like, it's just hard to know. But for her, it's not cross alliances. She's choosing someone that she believes that she's aligned with. Joe and Tiffany, I would be scared if I were Joe here. Everyone wants to target Tiffany. So you're choosing the person that is the most obvious target.
Mm-hmm.
What was Joe's thinking? Was he just like too nice to say no when Tiffany asked? Did he think there was some benefit to this? I mean, they're strong competitors. So are you just hoping like, hopefully we win, I don't have to deal with this? You're not necessarily thinking they're going to vote both people out. So you're not that concerned at this point. Yeah, I feel like they should have told them they were going to be voted out as a duo, because then the clamoring for a partner would have been much more aggressive.
And it would have given clarity on why these pairs were chosen. Like, this ends up being the crux of the episode, these pairs, right? So I think they should have been given all the information on the outset, and it would have been a better selection process as well. But I guess they all thought it was just for the challenge. That's my assumption of it.
Yes, that's what I would assume. So Emily and Rizzo.
I kind of think this is low key, like not a very good pairing. Like these two are not good in challenges. I think I felt like they were kind of toast the moment we saw that it was really almost any kind of challenge. I don't really love the men. And then are they both middle people, or are they not? Who are like the there's like the old schoolers and the middle people, and then what's the other group of people that's like on the other side of the middle? Like the middle has to be in the middle of something, right?
Group.
Like
the other group.
The other group.
I don't even know who the other group is. I know who the old schoolers or the Honorable Alliance is assuming is the middle, but then who's the other side? I don't know.
Yeah,
if you have
there's
seven,
no other.
Yeah, if you have seven,
it's a sandwich with only like
Honorable,
one piece of bread, or it's like an Oreo that they already.
Tiffany's on the other side, and then the middle people are Emily, Rizzo, Aubrey, and Devins.
Yeah, I guess Tiffany's the only one on the other.
Christian too.
And Christian. That's a 5-person middle group.
Right. When
with
did they
a
just
7-person main alliance and Tiffany on the...
When did they just become the people, right? And Chrissy made clear these are not the people who are worthy of making it to the Final Four, even though I think half of them have made it to a Final Four in their previous season. But not for season 50. That's not what's going to happen. But yeah, it's...
Not these sneaky middle people.
Yeah. Sneaky middle people.
Yeah.
I guess Rizzo is like ostensibly one of the 4 horsemen, although, they reminded us about that at the top of the episode and then it never came up again.
No. I do believe that Rizzo probably doesn't care who he's with. He's got the idol. So he's just like, whatever, like, I'll just play it cool, partner with somebody, who feels good about me or feels good when I ask if they'll partner with me. And then we have Aubrey and Devins. Again, part of the middle people, the secondary majority of middle people. I don't think strategically it was a strong build here with Aubrey and Devins, but maybe I'm wrong.
They actually got really close to winning this challenge, which was shocking to me.
They did.
It seems to be like people really just paired up who they were comfortable with, right? Like,
yeah.
Emily and Rizzo seem to be 2 of the middle people. Ozzy and Steph, both old schoolers, know each other. Aubrey and Rick played on the same season, spent some time on Extinction Island together. Chrissy and Coach, obviously, together. And Jonathan and Christian, I guess, is 2 of the oddball ones, but they seemingly both loved it with the David Goliath thing. So, I think everyone would just defaulted to who am I most comfortable with, which is a lot about Survivor anyway. So
I think that Jonathan was, because we had Christian saying that, Jonathan just grabbed them immediately and was like, fee, fi, fo, fum. And I think that was Jonathan trying to be strategic, where he was like, I'll just carry whoever through the physical part. And then if there's a puzzle, I need a puzzler.
That's what I think too. And I also do believe cross alliances as well. It's not an uncommon play if you have to pair up with somebody. The challenge does it all the time, where you have to pair up with somebody. If you can pair up with somebody in the other alliance, then you're safer because you have your alliance and their alliance kind of blocking for you if they like you or if they're loyal. Before we go to the challenge, we get a little bit of game scramble here with people kind of thinking like, maybe we should go at Devins. So this is where we get the first time that Devins is being spoke as the real vote out, with Tiffany kind of being the too obvious. What is that, Ryan? Why is that a thing in Survivor where you can't go the too obvious? You should now deviate from that.
Well, I think in Rick's case, if say season 40 wasn't all winners, like Rick is a lock on that beach. And I think people remember like how dangerous he was specifically. He's a major threat. He's affable. And even though he's clustered in with these middle people, he's a massive threat. So I think it was only a matter of time before Rick's name started to get thrown around by anybody, because I think he's just a likable guy. I would want to target Rick too, even though I really like him.
Okay. Yeah. And you obviously have to be there. We're seeing what we're seeing, but I do also think like if you can't go obvious, because they'll either play their shot in the dark, or if they have an idol, or if they have an advantage. So you always have to deviate. Ashleigh, are you okay?
I'm fine. I think there was an explosion outside or something.
Oh, I didn't hear it.
Okay. I think there was one. We've had like a couple of them because there's like bad kids and they keep like messing with the lines.
Kids?
Yeah, bad. I saw them. And it makes explosions with the power lines. And I'm just glad it didn't hit the house.
So they're throwing like metal hangers or something that touch the power lines at the same time?
I've seen it when I was like taking out the trash, and then you just see like this flock of kids just running. And I'm like,
the power go out?
Yeah, that time it did. Yeah, but not this time. We're good.
Wow. That's crazy. Well, take a picture because my youngest daughter's always been asking what a bad guy looks like.
Okay, well, I'll be like, there they are.
I used to, man, when I was like a teenager, we would take, there was a certain like toilet bowl cleaner, and if you put it in like a water bottle or something and you threw aluminum foil in it, it would cause a chemical reaction to like bubble up. So then you'd like seal the thing shut and just set it somewhere. It would take a few minutes to do it. So you could like hightail it out of there. You get like a few blocks away and then you just hear this incredibly loud boom.
You know that I think that's building an explosive, and that's
it's literally a bomb.
Highly illegal.
I'm not saying the name of the toilet bowl cleaner because it had to be a specific one. I don't want to give out the exact instructions on this
incriminating
podcast.
yourself. Is it past the statute of limitations?
The statute of limitations. This is so many years ago.
Future sponsor, dude.
Future sponsor.
Give us the name. We have Chrissy also trying to coach. Everybody's trying to coach. Like, who's the pioneer of coaching coach?
Well, wait, this is after, so this is after the challenge.
No, this is before the challenge.
No.
Before the challenge, Tiffany tells coach to go talk to, or Chrissy tells coach to go talk to Tiffany.
Oh, yeah, she does do this.
Okay.
Yes,
and she tells him to play it cool. But he doesn't. I mean, so we do get that. You're right. Okay. So, but she does tell him to be cool. She's like, be cool. You got to lay low a little bit.
Take a breather.
And we'll get into that. But immunity challenge. Ryan, is this the perfect game mechanic, the fan voting, so that you can blame any new idea on the fans? And then if it's good, you can start taking credit for it. And if it's bad, you can blame the millions of people who have been watching the show for 25 years.
Yeah, it's definitely fail-safe for them. I will note the cast probably wasn't complaining that the production picked all of them to be on the season, just that the twists that were included, like they were fine that they all got picked, but the twists that were included that they had to deal with, not okay. It does create, hey, like, look, we didn't want to do this. We did not want to put you in pairs and run this challenge, but the fans made us. Like, we gave you the percentages; they add up to close to 100, right? Our hand is forced. It does be like, look, and he keeps reminding us of this, like the fans voted for it, like our hands are tied. We have to do this. I didn't want to do it, but this was being done. So it does create a little bit of it.
Which you're right. Like, no, but all the contestants are like, ugh, the fans, they voted for this. None of them are complaining that they got selected, except for Aubrey, who points out that you signed up for the show and should just deal with what's given to you, meanwhile crying 80% of the time about being there.
Easy to say when your number one nemesis in the game went home a few days ago because she got swapped onto a tribe with you and your two allies.
But for Aubrey, Aubrey's a legend to me. She did have that confessional. I think it was post-challenge, which we'll get to, I'm sure. But she said she's constantly underestimated. She played 4 times. She's constantly underestimated. But that's a good thing. That's because she's such a good player, I think, that, underestimation in Survivor is a double-edged sword, obviously. But her name isn't coming up continually, I think, because she is a good player, right? And she made it through. So I think she was being a little hard on herself there, that, why am I being underestimated again? But I think it's a credit to her and her game that she's able to integrate, and anything bad that was said about her by Genevieve or Pre-Merge emanated from her being a big threat. So she's not being overlooked. She's not being underestimated. I think she's just a good player. Maybe she's just being a little bit too hard on herself in that moment.
Yeah. I mean, I think also that is her gameplay is to be underestimated. Suri is a very similar style of game of being not threatening and not standing out in any capacity that's really going to make someone like want to target you. So yeah, I agree with that. Coach, is he good at playing it cool? This is a leading question. This is a
I think as good as he is about playing basketball, it appears. I
was shocked he admitted that he wasn't good at basketball.
Well, I did see a clip of him saying that he was scouted by the Chicago White Sox. So I guess this is not a Michael Jordan situation where he played for the White Sox for a season and then went back to the Chicago Bulls to win 3 more championships.
Decided to go to the Bulls after for a break.
Yeah, exactly.
He's like, I need a break from baseball. Let's go to the Bulls for a little while.
But yeah, it's about the same level of acumen there.
Yeah, I do think he did play baseball in college at Tennessee. And so that could be an accurate statement. That's the thing with coaches. Like, there's so many times where you're like, that's got to be a lie. And then he like kind of backs it up and you're like, well, maybe the next one will be. Like, it's hard to gauge what is truth. And that, I think, makes it difficult for people to navigate, especially if you already kind of are rubbed the wrong way by him. Then you're just like, nah, he's telling lies all the time. Mm-hmm. The immunity challenge, Rizzo calls it the biggest twist of all time. Is that ploy to get more camera time? Is to, if ever Ashleigh's like, yes. If ever Jeff is like, what do you think of this? You just have to completely exaggerate the situation to get camera time.
Big reactions, yeah, for sure. Like, you ever see one of those videos where I can't remember, but someone seeing like a magic trick, they're like, oh my God, it's just like, I can't believe that. Like, and Jeff loves that. He's like, and now you thought this was big. Just wait. You're paired up now. And it's the biggest, juiciest twist. Survivors. And then it's just like, oh my God, this is incredible. Like, yes. But it wasn't even my idea. It was the fans. And it's, but yeah, you gotta say like, yeah, this is an amazing twist. It's the biggest twist, amazing twist. This is the biggest twist I've seen in 3 days. So yeah, the big reaction is definitely something I noted this season for sure.
Yeah. And people have to agree to get on the camera in those moments. You have to be like, because even Jeff was like, the biggest stakes. These are the biggest stakes in Survivor history, which again, stakes on reward would have easily made sense to have Omaha Steaks ship some stuff out there. Like, there's more marketing opportunity, followed up with some Doublemint gum. And Coach is bad at basketball. I just like, we saw he was bad. I was excited he was bad because I was like, oh, Coach is usually okay at stuff, but like, how's he going to spin this? He just admits he's bad at basketball.
Yeah, I've been on segments of the challenge that people are no longer on. And I see people, and then like when Jeff leaves you during a challenge, you're like, oh no. Oh yeah, no.
He walks away.
Yeah, he walks
to the next segment.
I've unfortunately seen his back in challenges. I've been in boats and seen him on another boat drive past us. I've seen him up on elevated surfaces when I'm still on the ground. I've seen it all from being behind Jeff in challenges. And look, when I played baseball as well. I didn't play at UT, but I played for the Softshine Mariners in North Arlington. And when I used to throw people out from shortstop, I used to do the "You better believe it, baby" Dragon Slayer. I am a fan of Coach, so this was clearly not his challenge. But in their defense, Chrissy's a whiz at puzzles. Like, Chrissy is second to none at puzzles. And I think Coach was even on the puzzle last week with her. So they clearly have some sort of rhythm on challenges. Maybe they thought that if it was a puzzle, they had a shot. But yeah, clearly stumbling out of the gate, trying to get the ball through the ramp and catch it.
So we get Joe and Tiffany winning, which I think was probably safe of Joe. Like, that would have, Joe, I don't know if he would have been voted out had they not won. But they would have definitely been talked about with Tiffany as his partner. They definitely would have been talked about. Like, he had to have been a little bit nervous before the challenge, and then winning, that's probably a huge, huge relief.
seemed like a massive challenge too. Like it seemed like never ending. And when they got to that final portion, I was sure Steph and Ozzy were gonna win it, and they did a good job navigating the maze, but it rimmed out there that second ball. And I'm happy that Ozzy didn't win, because when I go back now, I only have to win 9 immunity challenges instead of 10 or whatever it is. So I don't want him to get too far from me. Yeah, far. Yeah, I'm still at, even though I completed an entire season, I'm still looking for my first, so I don't want him to get too far from me. But I thought that was a lock for them to win that final challenge, and it didn't happen. So credit to, I mean, Tiff, like going into an immunity, you got votes last tribal. You're with somebody who voted for you, or the perspective of them voting for you. You're teamed up with them, and you pull it out. Like that takes a lot of composure to do. So credit to her. That was a big time win.
Yeah. I think in those moments when you feel like you are the target and you have to win, it's either these competitors who pull it together and rise above and beyond and get that like toddler under the car mom strength, where they just like lifted a 2,000-pound car off of a baby somehow, or they just crumble and like cannot even function at all. So Tiffany, I think, rising above in this moment, for her, in her mind, this was do or die. Whether or not that's what actually would have happened, who knows? But in her mind, she has to be believing that this is do or die. So the fact that she crushed that is powerful. We've talked about Exile Island, but I wanted to rework it, because basically she gets to Exile Island and the note, the thing she reads, says, you got something good, but you can get something even gooder if you do a thing. Like, it's like, oh, I got to, but it's even like, there's no risk to this. Like, there should be risk to this somehow, especially when you're volunteering to go. There should be something at risk. There was nothing at risk. It just was like, if you want to work a little bit, I don't even know that I would have worked to go back. I would have just been exited from the vote completely, no blood on my hands, blamed whatever. Then you can go any direction when you come back to camp. You can be like, oh, I wouldn't have done that. Or, okay, cool. Like, I'll just let you guys, like, none. I don't know. Was there something to going back? Just having the knowledge? Why work that hard to go back?
Yeah, there were clearly no stakes for losing. And just as an aside, like I never liked when the show like tells you that you have to do something. Like, for example, I found an immunity idol on my season and I had to give it to somebody else, right? This was before the Billie Eilish Boomerang Idol. This was the Ryan Ulrich Super Idol, and I had to give it to somebody. And it's like, I'd rather like see what I could do with it myself, right? But like once my team won, I had to give it up. So like there should have been an option like, hey, Saray, you can do this. You can win the opportunity to go back, but you're getting cost something. Or if you lose, you do go back and you're able to be voted out. And maybe that could have created more chaos. Like, hey, like now she's a sitting duck. Like it's not the reward that we thought it was going to be, just like avoiding the vote. So I thought, the stakes were non-existent when they should have been extra high for, especially like, it would have been a good twist because you think you're guaranteed safety, and in the end, like you're just going back to camp just like everybody else, and you could be picked off.
I like that. I like, you play this, you have to find the coconut, and you spend the night on Exile. You still don't get a vote, but you're safe. Or if you don't find the coconut, you go to camp and you could get voted out.
Mm-hmm.
That's 100% what it should have been. Like, the sitting out to win, to get automatic immunity should be a thing of the past. We don't do that anymore. We've done it so many times. Everybody's just clamoring to get it. Make it cost at least some sweat. So like none of it was earned. It was just like, oh, got it. And so happy to just exit. Like even a challenge beast would be so happy to exit in that moment. I would have been clamoring to not be the person that had to pair up. So I believe, that again, the fans dropped the ball on the voting in that moment, and we're to blame. And if we would have voted better, then we probably would have had something where the person at Exile had to work harder to earn something.
Yeah, not very honorable of the fans here.
Yeah, I agree. Back at camp, we start getting the scrambling happening, and it's Coach and Chrissy or Devins and Aubrey seem to be the two.
Yeah, Emily, I think, is the first one we see throw out the Coach and Chrissy name, and then
she wants Coach gone so bad.
Yeah, she wants Coach gone.
Is it for her gameplay, or is she just bugged by him?
It's like the Coach
both.
and Chrissy.
It can be both.
Pairing is so. They're really a similar type of player. They really are. So I think, to jump ahead a little bit, like when Cirie comes back, she finds out all this information. It's just like, well, obviously, but in that moment when they're working through it, I get everybody's points that Aubrey and Rick also seem dangerous because Coach and Chrissy are like one entity, and we get Tiff's confessional, like, Coach is annoying and Chrissy is I forget the word, that a control freak, right? Those are interchangeable words that can be used about Coach and Chrissy, right? So I could see why people would be like, to your point before, that's the easier kind of vote here. Let's see if we could get a big threat like Aubrey, who just flushed an idol, and Rick Devins, who's highly capable of winning immunities and finding idols. So
yeah, I think I'm looking at these pairings, and if I am not aligned with either of them, just as an outsider, Chrissy and Coach aren't winning. They're not winning against me in a final tribal council. So are they with me enough that they would take me to a final tribal council if we got to that point? Then maybe they're worth sticking around. Maybe like anybody who believes that Chrissy and Coach are telling them the truth should obviously keep Chrissy and Coach. Those are not winning finalists based off of what we're seeing and people's perception of these two players. Whereas Devins and Aubrey are both players that could potentially win in the end. Devins specifically seems very well liked. He did have a tiff with Joe, so maybe you're thinking some other things. Aubrey under the radar could rise at any minute. Like I'm thinking. Plus, Devins openly admitted that lying is part of Survivor and he wants to play that way. And I think if everybody lies, but if you're admitting to lying and celebrating it and you're getting lied to and you find that out, then it's obvious. Devins and Aubrey, go for it. Cirie comes back once everyone is kind of on Devins and Aubrey and is like, the obvious is Coach and Chrissy. And Ozzy's like, thank God Cirie came back and told us what to do, because I would have done the other thing, which is incorrect because Cirie told me the correct thing. Yeah. I think Cirie's getting too much credit here.
And they still would have had the numbers. Like if Coach and Chrissy stay and Rick and Aubrey go, I'm pretty sure they're still up 6-5. Like,
but they don't all know that.
They don't all know that. Yeah, Steph thinks that like Cirie and Ozzy are on their side. To the earlier point of, a lot of this season that we've seen, it's kind of more akin to second chance, that like this is how I'm going to play this time. This is how I've thought about it. I've changed. I've reinvented myself. In Coach and Chrissy, Coach has reverted back to the Dragon Slayer, admittedly. Like he's like, Tidewalker done, like this, I am the Dragon Slayer. And Chrissy, I mean, admittedly, on my season, like had her own problems with people, myself not, discluded from that. And in episode 3 or 2, she's talking about like, I don't know why this happens. I'm not being well liked again. Like this would happen last time. I'm not well liked. So it's the two people who have not changed, that are not adapting, who are just reverting to them old selves, that now paired together. And they are people who have, I also lost at Final Tribal, but they lost at Final Tribal too. So I don't know if that's in the back of people's minds that, hey, these are the things that we're seeing. We're not seeing a lot of change from them. They're annoying people a lot. They're rubbing people the wrong way. let's try and keep him in. I mean, that was my thought when I played. But at the same time, like there's so many people left. So I think that threat of keeping Aubrey and Rick in is very scary. And everybody was on the same page with that seemingly, except Cirie, who comes back like kind of like a prophet and says, oh, no, this is what we should be doing, and instantly changes people's minds. So I wish I had that kind of power.
I don't think she changes people's minds.
Cirie?
I think without the hidden idol, I think it made them question, and they had conversations about it. But ultimately, I think if Rick hadn't pulled that idol, it would have been Rick and Aubrey gone. Am I incorrect? Did they edit that to make it look like Rick saved himself when he really didn't?
Well, Coach played a shot in the dark, but that was after Rick found the idol.
Yeah.
So, yeah, it's
my
tough.
read is that Aubrey and Rick were gone. That is that's the way I read it, but also editing can do whatever. Somebody sound off here. We have pretty much all the contestants from the season who we all love and adore tune in. So let me know. We're Rick and we'll just ask. We can ask tomorrow. We have Coach and Chrissy on the line tomorrow. So, but will they tell us the truth? That's what we don't know. I think that Cirie tried to go Coach and Chrissy, and I think for a second everybody thought about it again and then came to the realization that they had already come to, that Rick and Aubrey are more dangerous.
It's that scene with Rizzo, I think, that is pivotal too. That I don't think we saw Rizzo and Chrissy interact at all this season.
Right.
And it was of interest to me because in the preseason, like Chrissy, like was really, really railing against me through the lens of Rizzo. Like, I'm not working with him. He reminds me of Ryan. Like, Ryan is bad, blah, blah, blah. And like, I'm sitting at my desk at work and it's like, I got nothing to do with, like, what are you talking about? Like,
what did I do?
So, like, you think Coach is giving nicknames. Chrissy's given me more nicknames, I think, than anybody. So it's, and Rizzo conversely said that Chrissy was the number one person he wanted to work with. Like, I reminded him of him and his mom of Chrissy. They wanted that relationship. And we never saw one conversation between them the entirety of the season. The only thing we saw was Rizzo saying, girl, bye, about her when Cirie says, no, actually, like, your name is getting written down because of Chrissy. Chrissy's coming after you. And even when his name is read, he says, thanks, Chrissy. Like, he knows it. So, I don't know what happened there. I'm inclined to think that the vote was Coach and Chrissy. That's just my read on it. Because I don't think like many people were talking enough at Tribal to flip everybody to Coach and Chrissy sans two pairings. I think going into Tribal, I thought the writing was on the wall that these two were going to go, but I could be wrong.
I need to break it down a little bit here so that I can myself think about it. So you think that Coach and Chrissy were always the target. Chrissy voted for Rizzo and Emily because she was the target anyways. And when she said whatever she said to people, they were like, yeah, we're doing that. So that would explain why her vote specifically was a full width. Mm-hmm. And then everyone else just, I mean, I could see that. I still think though.
Wait, so even Joe ended up voting for Coach and Chrissy, didn't he?
Yeah. But Devins and Aubrey, Devins had that idol pull out. So at that moment.
But even during the whispering at Tribal Council, he was like, I will not write Coach's name down on principle.
It's very weird, yeah.
And then he ends up voting for him?
Not honorable.
No. Yeah, where's the honor and integrity, man? What happened?
That is not like Magellan would be very upset with that.
Rolling in his grave.
Another in the Philippines, apparently.
In the Philippines, yeah. I thought
that's true. He actually did die in the Philippines.
He did, yeah. Coach earlier though, like completely he I think quoted 3 people. I don't think any of those 3 people said the quote that he said. And
it was like 2 philosophers and then like a bank guy or something.
I mean, it was an Sun Tzu, Nietzsche, or a financial advisor who I could not figure out who that, like, is that just coaches?
Coach's financial advisor.
It was like Chris Verilis or something?
Verilis.
And all of the Googling I did, I was like, I think this might just be coach's personal financial advisor.
So I think
it might be Nietzsche.
Or it could be someone who you just can't Google because they're so wise. Or it could be a coach nickname and the real person is a different name.
I think I was able to find something on it. I think it was like a Harvard economist. It was a little bit misquoted. But what I found more interesting was Rizzo said something very, very similar to that at Tribal, which leads me to believe that coach was saying this line at camp, unless the Four Horsemen have something that I do not. But Rizzo said a very similar quote to that at Tribal. And I just found that very coincidental. The other thing I wanted to say about Tribal was, do you think that Rick should have told Aubrey in advance what he was doing? Because I don't know what the rapping said, but if it was a Billie Eilish immunity idol, Rick could have been like, well, I have to give this to somebody. I'm giving it to Aubrey. And then people would be like, oh, that's the mechanic makes sense. Like he has to give it to somebody. And then like it would have been.
That writing says on the other on another tribe.
But he wouldn't even show the writings anyway, right?
Well, that's the thing. If you have to show the writings to them, then you're going to read it. That's why he wasn't going to show it. Because the rapper would have been Billie Eilish. So then everyone would have just voted for him. Because I think in that clue on the Billie Eilish idols, it does say like someone from a different tribe.
Will this all unravel for him next episode because of that? Because he was kind of like, oh, you have to play it, at the next tribal council, it's supposed to be snuck out or whatever.
No, he's not allowed to play it till the next tribal council.
Right, that's what he said.
Yeah.
But like to your point, if somebody is like, hey, show me that rapper where it says that, of course, obviously it doesn't say that.
Yeah.
So is this like, is he going to have to come clean, when they get back to camp?
I don't think so. He'll
just keep doing the like, well, knowledge is power. I'm not going to show you exactly what it says. You're just going to have to believe that that's what it says.
Yeah. Or he's just going to, maybe people will stop asking, or maybe he can have Christians start verifying it around the camp a little bit or something. I think it's powerful.
Just say you forgot. Just say you forgot.
I forgot what it says, and I don't know where I put the rapper.
Yeah.
It also seemed like it was under way more rocks than what he had initially placed the idol there. Maybe that was all just for show.
I think it was for show. Like, oh, it's over here. No, it's over here. Okay, I found it.
Okay.
Boop.
Interesting. Okay. So, Ryan, you do not think that hidden idol there shook things up at Tribal Council? You think it was always going to be Coach and Chrissy?
Maybe for Joe's vote, but I don't know what Joe's, like, as Riley said, like he said he wasn't voting for him and then he did. So, and then Steph, even when she puts the urn in, she's like, what a mess. So yeah, I do think it impacted some people's votes for sure. But I think people really took to what Sari said. And I think even Ozzy was like, thank God Sari came back because I was going to vote in a different direction. I misinterpreted what Sari was going to do. He needed to have a vision like Coach did of himself doing Tai Chi and say, okay, like this is what Sari is thinking. But no, I think Sari flipped the vote when she came back. And I think it was Coach and Chrissy going into Tribal, and that caused Coach to play his shot in the dark. It seemed like Chrissy and Coach were on the same page with that. She didn't seem surprised that he didn't even have a vote or wasn't going to vote. So no, I do think it changed Steph and Joe's vote, but I don't think it changed much else.
Wait, do you think that it prompted Coach to play his shot in the dark then? Like if he was more comfortable until that the Rick fake idol thing, and then there's a world where it's like
Chrissy should have played hers.
Mm-hmm.
Well,
they both should have played theirs because then they have a one.
I wonder if they could only play one. It sounded like Probst made it sound like they could only one of them could play the shot in the dark.
I don't think so because then you just both give up your vote. I believe that you could both play your shot in the dark.
I don't know.
They should have both played their
I
shot
interpreted
in the dark.
it differently, but it's unclear.
Let me go back to the fan voting and see what we chose.
Yeah, Riley, the rules were so
What do we pick?
the rules were so clear. I don't know what is confusing about this.
Come on, Riley, pull it out.
No, but like imagine if Coach was not going to play his shot in the dark, but the votes were on Coach and Chrissy until Devins does the thing, and then he plays it. It like this actually is a move that kind of sort of backfires on Devins, because if that shot in the dark had hit, then they're the next vote. I hadn't thought about it like this.
If Devins felt at risk, then he made the right move in clamoring for the idol. Like that's what we don't know. Were they going to be the actual target? And based off of what we're seeing, the edit is telling us that they were indeed probably the target, but it was muddled enough that it could just be a ruse. It could just be another pick'em schoolyard pick happening 2 episodes in a row. They schoolyard picked us.
How about when Stephanie went up to Christian and was like, "You have to tell him to open it. Like, you do this now." And Christian's like, "What? Like, no. Like, why me?"
Yeah.
You know? Like, I was picked last in the fake schoolyard pick 2 days ago.
Exactly.
That was pretty interesting.
What Stephanie has gotten a little aggressive here. I liked that she asked Rick to show it to her.
Absolutely.
I did like that.
Didn't you feel like more people should have been pressing that
I think they all
button?
should have pressed for him to open it. All of them should have been like, "We're voting you unless you open it.
Yeah.
Open it right now."
And
like the
Stephanie,
fact that didn't get rolling was crazy.
You know, I was surprised that nobody was like, "It's fake." Like if it were real, he'd show it.
Yeah.
It's fake, or he's not going to play it, or he can't play it, or something like that. I don't know. It's just, I feel like we don't get many instances where people do the double bluff. It's always like if they make a big deal out of the idol, then they're either not playing it or it's not real. And if they try and keep it super secret, then they are playing it because of course they want the votes to like bounce back and them to get the result that they want. You never get somebody who like makes it a big deal because then they think you're going to actually like call them on the bluff, but then they're going to call you on your call. Like it's always just like kind of a one-step thing. So I'm like, the fact that he made it so public and was like, "Oh, but I won't read it out to you," or whatever. I would just, if I was Stephanie, I'd just be like, "It's fake. It's fake. I know it's fake." He'd show it if it was fake. He'd make it a real thing or he'd show it if it were real, you know, and the fact that he won't, it felt obvious to me, but I don't know. I guess because we're watching it, we've known about it for like 2 months that it's fake.
The problem is that you're still too scared in that moment. So even though you're like, it's probably fake, you're like, that's fine if no votes are falling on you. Then you're like, okay, well, let's all vote for them anyways, because I know that they're not voting for me. But if you have an inkling that they're voting for you, you can't afford to take that risk. You're like, maybe it is real. Then the off chance that it is real, that's why the advantages are so powerful, is because you're like, I have to play, like Ryan took off for 2 hours in the woods. I have to now play like he has an idol. Like I just have to assume he has it or has something. And now I have to navigate the game believing that he has something. And so I think like even in that moment when you are pretty certain it's not real because he's just flexing so hard, you're like, well, maybe it is. It's also Rick. He's been boisterous on previous seasons with idols and stuff. So who's to say?
I wonder, Tyson, how much do you think like the Adam Klein situation was in their heads at the time? Like, because I remember Probst said afterwards in an interview, like, we're not into the business of hiding things at Tribal. We don't want people tearing apart the Tribal Council area.
I think he even said there will never be an idol at Tribal Council.
Yeah, and when Jeff Probst speaks, like, that doesn't change. So I don't know.
Because he said there'll never be an all-winners season.
Right.
He also said they are not going to do any more returning players from preseason 40. So
just wonder if that was in their heads.
Yeah, I believe that it would be in their heads, but I don't know how much stock they would put into it. And also, I think South Africa, somebody had told us, had an idol at Tribal Council, and that's where Adam actually was inspired to look around. And so you have to think like, if I'm watching Winners at War and Adam goes for that, I'm like, oh, well, probably in the future now, after that's happened, they're going to put an idol somewhere in tribal council. So part of me would be like, oh, now there's a more real possibility that could happen.
And he sold it well. Like Rick got up. He's like, I wouldn't even have thought of the fact that like, hey, I had a clue. Like I thought in the back of my mind, he was just going to like spot it or something. He had the wherewithal with his heart probably racing through his chest as Joe's talking about Mike Tyson to calm down and say, no, this is what I'm going to say. I'm going to say that I had a clue and now I'm going to get it. So it was highly composed from Rick there, and he deserves a lot of credit for coming up with the idea and executing on it. And there's no doubt, I know we're going back and forth a little bit of how many votes had changed. There's no doubt some votes were changed because of it. So hats off to Devins.
Yeah, there were definitely some votes changed. I also want to make note of when the scramble starts happening, Rick, he's not playing nice with Jonathan or the other side. Now he's like, take note of who's talking to who here, and then you'll understand who's with who at camp. And
I kind of liked how Jonathan shot it back and was like, you're
doing the same.
Yeah.
So Jonathan did shoot it back, and I love those moments. I thought that was astute of Rick, and also like maybe a good thing to point out. But then Jonathan's like, "You're doing it too." So. Not that it maybe mattered, but those are small moments on Survivor where you can see where the lines are and they're kind of fully exposed at that moment. And Coach, with some memorable quotes, no mere mortal. This is obviously, I've just kind of, taken notes on it, so it's not 100%. No mere mortal can keep a secret. Betrayal oozes from their pores.
If the lips are silent, the fingertips are chattering. Betrayal oozes out of every pore. That's actually a real Sigmund Freud quote.
It is?
Because, I looked it up. It is Freud. And then the subsequent one from Magellan, what came up there is the Survivor 50 trailer where they lifted that quote and included it. It was Coach.
Yeah.
So we don't know if Magellan actually said any of that, but the other one is actually
a lot of quotes this episode from people, including the War Dog.
Yeah.
Yeah. Which I haven't heard the War Dog name for a long time.
I know.
So he's back. He finally made it back on Survivor like he always wanted.
That's true. Yeah. And I think this is the headline from this episode, that the War Dog is back. Coach was also doing like a Charlie in the Chocolate Factory song. He's like, no, that's not it. And it's like the montage of Coach doing like the Oompa Loompa song before they went to tribal was perfect.
Let me see. Do I have the lyrics? I love to be the Dragon Slayer. I'm going to tribal tonight, but I won't go down without a fight. That doesn't rhyme. Tonight. He rhymes tonight with tonight.
It's
those people who doubt me will get their comedance, and then he's like,
those people that doubt me will get their comeuppance.
Somebody I know
tonight.
Somebody I know at one time did a rap one time, and they rhymed bluffs with buffs. So it happens.
Yes.
It does happen.
All the great lyricists have a little stumble. And so this was Coach's, the rap with the bluff and buff. That was somebody else, a rapper.
Exactly. To quote the famous lyricist John Lennon, it happens sometimes.
Sometimes it happens.
Don't look that up.
No. That wasn't an economist who said that? A financial analyst?
It was the famous economist, yeah.
Yeah.
I think both. It was both. And so word for word, they're a little different, so I don't know who was this exact one.
It's good when you list multiple choice to your own quote. Or all
it was either Lenin or Napoleon, who knows?
It's always a multiple choice. And to summarize, it was one of these three. Jeff should have had Chrissy and Coach exit together.
One torch.
Or two torches at the same time. Just go stand there in front. Bam, bam. Yeah. That's the Doublemint. Two snuffers even.
Doublemint.
Sure.
Yeah.
Prove
how do you decide? Why he was so specific? He's like, Chrissy, you're first. It's like, why?
To give Coach the hero send-off.
Mm-hmm.
I do think that is the answer, but, I think it will, does Chrissy get 13th place and then Coach gets 12th? Or is that fair? That doesn't feel fair.
It doesn't feel fair, but it feels like that's how the pay scale will go. I don't think they ever really pay people the same, even in those moments. Like,
yeah, for the pay scale, that should definitely be split up 50-50. They should each get.
I went home the same night as
whatever.
James in Heroes versus Villains and got paid less.
Wait, what? Didn't they go to tribal first?
No, we went to tribal first.
Oh, you did. That's right. Because then all the remainers got to watch
And eat hot dogs, yeah.
Yeah,
I don't acknowledge
that's
that tribal council, Tyson.
I don't either.
Didn't happen.
We still know how no one knows how you went home on Heroes versus Villains.
I do, but only like 20% of people believe it. Before we get to Riley's reads, Ryan, favorite coach moment of the season. Favorite coach moment of the season.
I honestly really didn't. I'm not being a prisoner of the moment. I enjoyed the song. I thought that was really good. The haikus were good. I love. You know what? It had to be when Camilla was like really sad when Kyle exited, and they were like, "Oh man, like Kyle, like great guy, like winner, like what do you think of that?" And Coach was like, "I need to clear up that Ozzy lied about the key challenge."
Yes.
Are we not talking about me right now? Well, let's bring it back.
Wait, what do you mean a guy who just won this game, who everybody was saying was a huge threat, really had a really, really crushing injury in the last challenge? Doesn't matter. Let's talk about the key challenge. Q, you were there. You remember. Everybody remembers. Mike White did not tell that. So that was great. It's like, we're back. We're back. Also, like, you getting stranded in the ocean. That was good.
So good.
That was so good.
He, like, and he has a certain nostalgia to me. Like when I see him, like it makes me nostalgic. Like I remember what grade I was in, what year I was in when like I was watching Coach 1.0. Like Survivor is still posting clips of you talking to him. Like don't do Tai Chi in front of people. Like I was like, oh my God, I forgot that was one of the bits of advice. So it's just like he has a connection to a lot of people's lives just from him having these huge moments. So I'm happy that he had a lot of those moments this season. And it should not be forgotten. Preseason, he had the most flowers thrown on him by this cast. Like they wanted to work with Coach. So much so that like I know people in the press made him their winner picks. So people wanted to work with him, and I think he would say, you know what, like that. What else was I supposed to do? I had to be big. I had to play loud because then if I played any otherwise, I'm being disingenuous and people are going to clock that. So, I enjoyed having Coach back. I thought it was a great get for 50, and it was the exact type of person that I think Survivor fans wanted to see back on a season like this.
Do the same thing for Chrissy now.
One of the things that Chrissy and I bonded with in 35 was that it was a big deal for us to be out there. I know it was a big deal for her to be out there on 50, even more so, I'm sure. But then she kind of went after me in the press. So it's just like, through the lens of Rizzo. So I don't know, how much sympathy I have. We haven't spoken in a really long time. But from
don't
what
come for our baby Ryan. Do not come for our baby Ryan
the problem with it was like I get like she's all hyped up preseason saying, things about me, whatever. But I think pretty sure she came back and did an interview after the season and continued that train. So it's just like, I have nothing to do with this. Like it's been 8 years and it kind of came through that maybe, and Coach as well. It's just like you're reverting back to the old habits, right? But with that being said, I know it was a big deal for her to be out there. There's no question about that. And she's a competitor, right? And we made it to the end together in 35. I thought, in part because we dug our heels in and we didn't give up. We were on the outs on final 9, and if she got through this vote, she wouldn't have given up. She doesn't quit. So I do hope she had a good experience. It seemed it might be tough, but Survivor's tough. But I know that it was a big deal for her to be out there at the end of the day.
Yeah, I agree. I think they both exited kind of saying that it was healing. Do we believe that? Are they healed? Are both of them healed?
When you lose that final tribal, it is a certain kind of sting. Like you're not. Every jury member that I encountered on my season was voted out because they were the biggest threat. And like, oh, I would have won, but, and then like jury members were saying, oh, I would have gone to the end with Ryan and Chrissy when they made no effort to work with us. Like, okay, like, yeah, you're just picturing yourself as the winner and placing yourself in that position. So it does sting, right? And that's the first thing that coach talked about with Ozzy. They got right back into it in South Pacific. They hit that beach. They started talking about South Pacific, how I should have won. And, you cost me. So when you're told specifically why you're not going to win, it stings. So for any final tribal loser, and there were several of them out there, even Charlie, like, that got in his head as well. So it's always in the back of your mind. It cuts a little bit different. So going back, you're trying to heal those things, I think, more so than somebody who, got 7th place and was the ex-member of the jury. So I hope it was healing. And it seemed like to coach, he takes the game with a certain reverence that I respect. And I think Chrissy does as well.
Yeah. Okay. The Ashen Herald or the Wolf of Quiet Pines. Any reflection on Coach or Chrissy?
I just gotta remember, I think, my favorite quote from him this season, which is, yesterday's enemy is tomorrow's adversary, and today's adversary is tomorrow's enemy. And I probably misquoted that, but I think that's in the spirit of Coach, so it's allowed.
Yeah. Okay. I like that too. Oh, Ashleigh.
It's beautiful. I don't have much to say. Okay. I'll say this. I always notice Chrissy in every episode, even when the camera barely showed her. And she really did seem to try to make a lot of connections out there. I wish we would have saw more from her. I wish that we could have saw, any type of alliances that she had with other people other than like Coach and the 4 horsemen and everybody. I think she did great for what she did, and of course, Coach is the Dragon Slayer. And I just think he's really funny when he lies and he gets caught in a lie. So he needs to work on that.
And then gets mad that they're attacking his honorability.
Yeah, he's funny.
He is funny.
Yeah.
I loved this season how pleased Coach was with his own antics.
Himself? Yeah. Oh, yeah.
Like just giggling at the haikus he was coming up with and the songs and then being like, oh, it doesn't rhyme. And then rhyming tonight with tonight and being like, that's the cherry on top of that masterpiece. Got it again.
It's like I somehow salvaged it. Somehow I did it.
Let's go to Riley's reads. Riley, what do we have?
All right. Who advanced their game the most this episode?
I think the middle people. The middle people. Although I don't think Coach and Chrissy were bad to keep around for even the middle people. They definitely did hit the numbers of that honorable group. So I don't know necessarily strategy wise. Like I think if I would have been there and not with that group, I probably would have just been like, either one, I don't know. Unless you're locked in tight with Aubrey and Rick, I literally would have just gone with whatever I thought the majority was.
Sounds like you're one of you're like in the middle of the middle people.
I am. That's the
like
sweet spot, dude.
Disgusting.
That is the sweet. It is gross.
There's just no honor or integrity at all. You're like the middleest middle.
I know. It's gross to say, but I think, I really think the only people that really benefited from Coach and Chrissy going home were whoever Coach and Chrissy were targeting. Other than that, I think it was a bad move. I do believe that Suri not playing in the challenge, not hindering anybody, going to exile, and then coming back and having everybody just kind of like be like, oh, she is making sense. And then it actually did, like Coach and Chrissy did go home, was probably good for her. I'll say Suri, I guess. Ryan, who you got?
I think Tiff. She was.
Yeah. Dang it, that was just so obvious. I'm switching mine to Tiffany.
Okay. That's why you're the assistant coach.
Yeah.
I thought Tiff had an incredible episode. She has so much resolve. She's a tremendous competitor, right? And even so, winning that immunity challenge, she said she never won immunity before. So like, you're not going into a challenge like this is my challenge to win. So to dig your heels in like that, and I mean, the middle people are just becoming the people at this point. That's a huge upgrade for them. So being able to join them, I'm sure, and now Steph and Jonathan and Joe are going to be on the outs. I think she really worked herself back in well, which is, I mean, we've seen it so many times. So somebody just like spiral out of control. So the composure she had throughout the episode, I think, was really impressive.
Yep. Ashleigh?
I'm giving it I'm giving it both to Suri and Tiff. Of course, Tiff's like amazing. She did everything great this episode. I love it. I'm so happy. And Suri, I feel like she has more control over this game than we can even see from what they edited on Survivor. The way she just came back from the Exile Island, which is weird because it's Exile Island, not just a random journey. And then everyone believed her, and she was able to influence the vote according to what we saw on the episode. I just feel like she just has way more control than we think, and it continues to build, and she continues to not have any blood on her hands whenever the vote goes exactly how she is telling everybody else to go. So I think she's just doing amazing.
I like that.
Yeah. Riley?
Yeah, I think I'm going to go with Tiffany. And, you know, especially with the Joe connection too, like that part was impressive as well. She's not just clawing her way back with the middle people, but she's getting some of the honor and integrity too. And as we know, that is the most important part of the game. So, impressive episode for her. Okay. So the opposite, who damaged their game?
Ryan, who you got?
I would think Jonathan at this point. You know, he's now, I don't know if it's so much damage, but he was a casualty of, you know, the episode ends with him kind of getting into his own kind of thing with Rick. So I think he's going to have a little bit of a tough sled. I mean, he's already gotten into arguments with people, you know, with D, and he's already shown that, you know, he's not necessarily happy with his spot then. I don't think he's going to be happy with his spot now. I think he made the correct move by siding with Chrissy and Steph and getting in with that Honor Integrity Alliance. But now, I mean, that alliance is pretty done. So he's definitely a person who can rely on those immunities though. But I think he wanted to kind of change his game, but unfortunately, maybe he's kind of reverting now into, you know, win or lose mode with these challenges. So I think he was most affected by what happened.
Maybe, I mean, Jonathan, I believe, is going to have an uphill battle now. He's lost the majority. He hasn't been so in with the middle people, which has been hard for him. Maybe this connection with Christian is okay, but I have to agree. I think Jonathan.
I was thinking Jonathan as well. The Four Horsemen thing is completely over. Jonathan had chosen the Integrity Alliance over Camilla, Dee, and Tiffany. And now that Tiffany holds more alliances than he does in the entire tribe, or the entire like merged tribe, he's just in trouble. He's not in a good spot. And I don't think Tiffany has forgiven him. So if Tiffany hasn't forgiven him, then neither has Aubrey. And then Aubrey is not with him, then it just keeps trickling down. So he's just like in a really bad spot. The Integrity and Honor group, I don't think it really exists anymore.
Yeah, I think Jonathan as well. But I agree with you, Ryan, that it's like more as a casualty of like what happened this episode than like necessarily anything super specific that Jonathan did to blow up his own game. Okay, winner picks.
Ryan, who
I can
you
go
got?
first for.
Oh, you want to go first?
Well, just because I'm sticking with Suri, so it's easy for me. I've had Suri, and like, you know, great episode for her. I feel like she's so well set up. So let's go.
Okay, Ryan.
That's such a Wolf of Quiet Pines answer. I'm going my guy Rick Devens. Rick, I used to before my Pod Has Spoken career started, I used to go on a podcast with Rick to discuss football and Survivor, and he's incredibly witty. He's super smart. I think he has a proclivity to find idols and win challenges. I think anybody who is on the bottom, like Rick Devens, can get right back to the top. He has a unique experience in being voted out, and Tyson, the adrenaline of coming back from edge of extinction, got a second life in the game. He knows what it's like to play with house money, and I'm hoping Rick can pull it out. I'm really hoping for that. So yeah, I'm going with Rick Devens.
Okay.
Tiff has been my winner pick since the beginning. Before the beginning, she is going to win this entire thing. I have been putting so much faith in her. I don't know where I got this faith, but it's there, and Tiff is going to win it.
Well, she's definitely turned around this episode. No, I mean, she's built with Joe now. She's with Joe. And Joe is honorable. Joe will vouch for her. So hopefully that kind of fans out a little bit. She's with Aubrey already. So she's got Aubrey, she's got Joe. Are Aubrey and Devens now connected a little bit because of what they've been through here as the targets? I think that she is definitely building at this point. Like, she is in a upward trajectory of success. So it was touch and go for the last couple episodes for your winner pick, Ashleigh, but now she really does seem like she's gotten a second wind. I'll stick with Cirie. I think she should have definitely been more heavily targeted at this point, as sitting out, going to extinction, coming back. Not one single person is like, oh, and she probably also has an idol because she went there. Like, everybody just takes her word for exactly what happened. She did tell the truth about what happened, but every single other time that someone's come back on their own little journey, even if they do tell the truth, people are not believing. So the fact that everybody's just like, well, Cirie's told the truth. Thank you we don't need to question it. We don't need to have another conversation about it. We don't need to suspect anything. It's great to have Cirie. It's crazy reaction that not one person was like, could she have more?
Right.
Someone must have, right? Like, just
2,000 coconuts.
Yeah, exactly. What are the likelihood that the Survivor production is going to take the time to do 2,000 It was probably 30. Like, nobody questioned anything about her story at all. Riley, you think that we just didn't see it?
I'm sure somebody said something behind the scenes, but it's also like she did get like the advantages. She doesn't spend the night at Exile, and she comes back and she gets a vote, and she's immune. Like, you can't even vote for her. So that's fairly believable that maybe she didn't get anything on top of all of that.
Right.
She'd just come back anyway, and if she wasn't immune and was like, yeah, you can't vote for me, I'm immune. It's like, who's going to verify that?
Yeah, totally.
I got immunity till the final three. Sorry.
Yeah.
Like, okay,
nice.
well,
that's how it is.
Yeah. This game throws twist. Like, that, the fans voted for it.
The parchment like flew off while we were on the boat ride back. Sorry, but you just it's true.
Yeah. They told me to tell you guys. What else we got, Riley?
All right, let's do who's going home next week.
Ryan, who you got?
I'm going to go with Steph. Steph's really one of my favorite players of all time. Like, Palau's one of my favorite seasons. I think she has the best underdog game of all time. Tribal won. I think she's got one of the best dominant performances in Guatemala. She's from New Jersey. I thought it was the coolest thing as a kid watching her. She's an absolute legend to me. She's shown on this season that she's still got it. She's a physical competitor. To everybody, like, even in the earlier parts of the season where everybody was like, well, why don't you vote Steph? Steph's sitting right there. Well, maybe people like being around Steph. Maybe people have good conversations with Steph. Maybe people think she's really strong, all of which are true. But I think this is a really difficult hand right now. She was firmly with the coach and Chrissy Honorable Integrity Alliance. And, she might not have as many inroads at this point as others do. I guess she really has to try and work back in with Cirie, but she's a strong competitor, but it's a tough hand at this point for her. So I'll go with her.
I think Emily is cooked because now that there's no distractions, there's no coach to start, giving speeches about no lying in front of everybody. People are going to start noticing all the chaos that Emily drops every time she reveals more and more conversations to everybody else. And I think she's cooked. Like, if she continues her gameplay, even just for like one night, and she tells someone else about I don't know, if Rick accidentally tells her about the fake idol, she will tell everybody. Why would you want to play with that right now? So I think she's cooked.
I like your pick more than mine, Ashleigh. But I'm going to still say mine. I think Jonathan, for the same reasons that he didn't necessarily make blunders, but it was worse for his game to have Chrissy and Coach go. He's strong. He's a physical competitor. I think people will say, okay, we're at the individual game now. Let's get rid of some challenge threats. And what better challenge threat than Jonathan, especially now that he doesn't have the numbers? Let's just take care of him before he goes on one of those infamous immunity runs. I could see it also being Ozzy, except for that he has an idol. They know where it is, and he's locked in tighter with a group that is pretty under the radar currently. So I think Jonathan could be at risk.
I also have Jonathan. It's, for similar reasons. And then also thinking that those two people who just got put on the jury were like locked in with him. Yeah. So you got to start thinking a little bit about that too. I mean, obviously we're going to put a lot of other players on the jury, and, Coach and Chrissy's votes wouldn't win anybody the million on their own. But I don't know. You just look at two people go in one night. I mean, you got to think about it a little bit. And also Jonathan's the only person who voted incorrectly, this tribal, who's still around. So, you make two enemies with your one vote, this tribal. So, so he just voted, right? He voted, he was the Devon's Aubrey vote.
Right.
So
that's tricky.
I mean, coming for you now.
He probably told Coach and Chrissy he wasn't going to write their name down. So even if he felt like it was going that direction, which probably wins jury votes a little bit, but everybody else hates it. So, anything else?
That's all from me.
Do we have, Ryan, any last words about the episode or anything before we shut this thing down?
No, thanks for having me. As you said at the top, you had to dust me off a little bit. And, I watched this season in part because it's Survivor 50, but I was super excited to hop on here and talk with you guys. And thanks for having me. Thanks for thinking of me. And thanks for, having me on.
Yeah, I was so excited when you responded back to me, and sorry for pulling you back into the community. Your life is again going to be mostly plagued by thoughts of your Survivor experience. So you can go ahead and quit whatever things you're working on now to just ruminate over how things could have been different for probably the trajectory of your life, everyone's life around you, our lives. So
but losing on a reality show 9 years ago still has a lot of weight. Like, it opens a lot of doors. So it's good. This has been a really good reminder of it.
Good. Well, I'm glad. And you're a regular now on the Pod Has Spoken, so you will get more invites from me. Thank you so much for your time and energy, Ryan. We loved having you. Big fan of your time on Survivor back in season 35. Ashleigh, thank you for making us look, sound amazing, as well as your input. And the Wolf of Quiet Pines. Riley, when are you going to get your name legally changed? Is that this week or?
Already did. Yeah, okay. It's
it's in the yellow pages. Okay, well, you've heard it here. You can find the Wolf of Quiet Pines in the yellow pages if you ever need to give him a phone call. Till tomorrow, we have double exit press. Until then, see ya.